Oh. Maybe we can't do it with the flowers. Maybe we just gotta ditch the flowers. Dearly beloveds, we are gathered here today for another fabulous episode of Toast Talks, a show where Toast talks. Today, we're going to be getting into the Boulet Brothers Dragula Titans, Season 2, Episode 3. We have got some Gothic wedding looks to get into, we have got some drama to cover, and y'all, it's getting messy. So this is the look for this week. She's giving you like sexy BDSM vampire, and she's looking for a husband for eternity, honey. And y'all, I am kind of stunning, to be honest. I'm kind of just sickening, to be totally frank and fair in this moment. Oh my god, wait, and I have a surprise. Ooh. That's right, bitch. There's a stole too. My hinges are so rich. Y'all, this episode was juicy. There were twists and turns. There was drama once again at like every corner. So we are about to dive into this episode, but before we get into it, you know, if you're new here, take a look around. Maybe subscribe. I've got a couple other reviews up already. Go check them out if you haven't. And yeah, just let me know what y'all are thinking about the season so far. I'm so excited to get into it, and I can't wait to see what everybody's thinking. Okay, so during the intro, I got my wish from last week, and we do in fact see the talking rug again. It was a very welcome addition. Loved seeing her again. The rest of the intro is pretty innocuous. They just kind of recap what happens in the last one. So everybody comes back into the lab. So they're catching up on what happened last week, and Cynthia just like starts it off by being like, Dahlia, you're a fake ass bitch. And so they start going at it. Dahlia wants to clear the air, and she sort of clarifies what Zaba was talking about in the Cauldron last week. And like, guys, she wasn't talking about Cynthia at all. She was talking about Abora. Duh. Which, you know, makes it so much better. So then Dahlia addresses Zaba, and she says that she'd done some research about this medically prescribed ketamine in New York City, which Jaharia brings this up in confessionals. She brings up a really great point. How the fuck did she do research for this without a phone? Girl, was she up at the public library? Did she like bribe a producer to go get her this information? I'm like, what? How did she find this out? And also that she could just bring it up and like throw it back in Zaba's face. I'm just like, oh my god. Then Dahlia brings up Sigourney making comments about her fan base and using her fan base to, you know, send people home or whatever. And it cuts to a shot of them right after the critiques in the first week when they like announced her safe. And Sigourney's saying, yeah, you know, they just can't have this on their plate right now. Ooh. And this is the first time that the show actually like shows, you know, actual proof of her being like this, right? Because up until now it was all just hearsay from the competitors, but like, you know, now we actually have proof. Girly pop, girly pop, girly pop, girly pop. Okay, so they call them over to announce the challenge, and it's a Gothic wedding challenge. A challenge all the way back from season 2. And this time, the twist is they have to be both the brides and the grooms, honey. I love that they're making them do king drag. It's very underrated. We only just recently got like a drag king show, King of Drag, which if you haven't checked that out yet and you are a lover of drag, y'all need to check out that show too. It's so sick. But I just thought that was really great. And I love that the Boulets, yet again, are proving that they are the superior drag competition by including kings in their repertoire of what they want them to do. It's incredible. So the Fright Freak this week is eating a worm-infested wedding cake, and whoever finds a wedding ring gets to cast a curse of rain on your wedding day.
Rain on me.
And they basically just get to dump water on whoever right before they go out for their bride floor show. So, you know, it's gross, it's disgusting, it's got this like black icing that's getting everywhere. They're talking about the texture. Apparently it tastes like dirt and there's just like worms and shit inside it. I don't know, guys, it looked yummy. Like, I would have eaten that shit the fuck up. I don't know, like the worms are like, I feel like that would be fun, you know? It's extra protein. I'm into it. So, Jaharia ends up finding the wedding band, and she decides to cast the curse on Sigourney, which I thought was a very, very good choice. You guys, Eva still eating the cake after the challenge was over was absolutely sending me. That girl was like, ooh, 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 give me some more, bitch. So after the fright fee, we cut to creatives, which we actually get creatives this week. Yes, I love when we get to actually see them making stuff. And I feel like the Boulets usually do a really good job of showing them actually doing things and like to have them talk about the techniques and stuff, which as an actual drag artist who makes things, I love that because I feel like I learned so much stuff from it. We also get a little bit more drama in this section. It cuts to, you know, one of the side rooms with Zavaleta, Jade, Sigourney, and Cynthia, and they are all talking about Dahlia. And Sigourney is calling her out and saying, you know, that she's playing like a shitty game and she's like trying to rat people out to production. And then it cuts to Dahlia and Eva having a convo in the Cauldron room, and like Dahlia's trying to like justify herself to Eva and get sympathy. But Eva's sort of like playing Switzerland a little bit and she's kind of not really taking the bait. She's like, girl, I gotta focus on me. I love that for Eva. It cuts back to the room with Sigourney and them. And Sigourney's like, basically like gunning for Dahlia at this point. She's like, we will get this girl. Mark my words. She is so intense, girl. Like I feel like she thinks that she is controlling the game. Like, I think that she thinks that she's the puppeteer. Skiddly-diddly-dip, 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 beep. Ah! Okay. Can we please focus? So then it cuts to them doing their makeup, and Jay goes over to Sigourney's station to like kind of check in with her about the comments that he was making in the lab. And he's like, yeah, like, I want you to know that, like, there are people that support you here. And, like, they're playing this, like, sentimental music. And you think it's like, oh, it's like a sweet moment. And then it cuts to Sigourney, and she's just like, yeah, all of these friends are fake. If JK actually felt that way, he would have said it to me sooner and off camera. You guys, I love this show. So, yeah, but she seemed to be pretty pissed off about the whole thing. She kind of seems to be pissed off about everybody right now. She just seems pretty mad in general this episode. And so Jay's wrapping up the conversation and he's like, love you. And Sigourney just goes, It was like, just like the passive aggression of it. It's just really, really tickles my sick sensibilities. And bam. So we get to the floor show. Boom, dun 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 dun, and they're like, boom, 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 boom. And so the Boulets come out in this like bloody wedding gown with this like huge veil. Yeah, they look hot. So the guest judges this week are Chelsea Rebecca and James A. Janice, and they are hosts of the Dead Meat podcast, and they're a married couple. I thought they were fabulous. I thought that they had like really insightful critiques for the ghouls, and yeah, I thought it was cute that they got a married couple to like do the judging. Okay, so let's get into these looks, honey. So first up is Cynthia Doll, and y'all, like when she came out, I was genuinely so gooped. I was like, wrap it up, guys. Like, I think we have a winner, you know? I just literally thought she looked so glamorous. And I feel like from Cynthia, we've just never seen this level of glamour before. So I was just like, oh my god. The little bustier thing that she had was really, really ornate and like beautiful. The like rhinestone mesh sleeves were really cool. And just like, yeah, just the way that she was moving in the look. The whole thing was just like so fabulous. I was like obsessed with her. And her groom was also really well done too, like really handsome And the, you know, really long goatee was really, really cool. Just that little pearl bodice that she had on under the jacket was like really, really cute too. Yeah, just all in all, I really, really thought that she did a fabulous job. And she was, you know, cracked out on the dance floor. Really is just giving me like Renata Bliss, your freestyle dancing instructor.
Hi, I'm Renata Bliss, and I'm your freestyle dance teacher.
So next up is Disasterina in her BDSM sub-dom fantasy. First of all, I love this from a concept perspective, because this is exactly how I feel that men should be, in a box and being fucked by their mistress. Thank you. I actually thought the bride look was really cool. I really liked all the spikes, and I didn't really get the... I think it read wedding from a Disasterina standpoint. Like, I think since I understood what the challenge was, like, I was like, okay, yes, I can see that this is her interpretation of it, right? Genuinely, I thought the groom was kind of jail. I'm not gonna lie. It was a little too pedestrian for me, and like, those motherfucking banana socks, you guys. Like, no, please. And I'm saying this as a Disasterina stan. But I have to acknowledge when my girl misses, and that was just, it was kind of not it for me. Yeah, those socks on the runway were criminal. So moving along, we have Priscilla Chambers, who looks gorgeous. She definitely nailed the assignment. She's got this like Tina Turner hair on, and I love the quilted look on her skirt, you know. I thought it was like simple, effective. Yeah, and the groom was like this like Baroque Elvis kind of vibe. It was a little take it or leave it for me, but I really liked Priscilla overall. And I like that she pulled out the gag of like tattooing herself. Girl, I'm just like imagining her like literally getting 2 tattoos and then being safe. Like, that's like so, like, wow. I feel like that's gotta be worth some extra points, right? So Dahlia Black is next, and she's recreating the Good Luck Babe album art. I fear both the bride and the groom are giving Ren Fair again this week. I do really like the bride. I feel like she looks immaculate as the bride. The groom look was just a little underwhelming for me. And I think the eating a heart thing is maybe a little overplayed at this point. Like, to me, like pulling a heart out of somewhere and eating it, it's like the Dragula equivalent of like doing like a split on Drag Race. Like, it's just losing its effectiveness over time. I don't really know. Moving right along, we have Blackberry up next. I loved her interpretation of the challenge. She's giving us a Southern Gothic bride and groom. And I think for me, what did it for me was the storytelling of the look. I just love the way that she like acted it out on the runway. If I had to critique anything, I mean, it would probably be a lack of a veil. Like, girl, just get a little veil. It's fine. But other than that, I thought she did great. So La Zavaleta is up next, and she looks beautiful. Beautiful. I love her bouquet a lot, but I think the overall look just feels a little simple for the bride. And like, without the bouquet, I don't really know that it reads wedding. The groom look is really cool, giving me kind of like a Slender Man kind of vibe. I love the long mustache, you know. But again, I don't really know that it reads wedding to me. Like, there are definitely a couple of details here and there that help bring that out, but for the most part, I'm just not really getting that. I think she looks cool though, and I like what she's doing. So next up is JK, and her looks definitely have one of the stronger concepts of the night for me. She's doing this like bouquet, upside down bouquet kind of thing, where like the bride is the upside down bouquet and the groom is the right side up bouquet. I love the stems like coming out of the bustier. I kind of wish there were more of those. The groom look is so cool. I feel like I like the groom look better than the bride look. But overall, yeah, I loved this from Jay. I thought that she looks great. So next we have Abora, and I loved this look from her. I thought she made really interesting choices in both looks, and I love the fact that she went with like a white bride. I love like the wires and stuff coming out of her mouth in her bride look. The whole look is very messy, but cunt. And the groom, guys, the groom is so hot. Like, guys, what is going on? I'm just a good Christian Batwoman over here, like, trying not to, like, fall for these married men. Like, what is going on? The groom is like carrying these like stones too. It's just a very interesting choice, and like I love when people just do weird shit that just makes me like wonder what, like why. Like it just makes me think about the character, and it makes me think about what it means for the character in like the world that they're trying to build. Like just like make weird choices. Like, I don't know. That's all I can say. So next up is Jade in this like red satanic kind of vibe. I think she looks very hot, and you know that I am Team Trans, but ultimately I think the look is a little underwhelming for me. I did really love the skull bouquet though, and all the balloons. That was really fierce. And I loved her groom, specifically just because it was really funny to watch her try to be masked. And the gremlin as the ring bearer, that was so fierce. I will say I had no idea the gremlin was the ring bearer, but I kind of didn't really give a fuck. I was like, oh my god, look at that fucking gremlin. So Jaharia looks stunning. I love that she went for blues and like teals with the color story. It's giving like a Tim Burton kind of vibe. The blonde hair is definitely an interesting choice. I will say that. I don't know. I just don't know that I would have made that choice. I love her groom look though. And I love like the detail on the jacket. I don't know if y'all noticed, but the collar on the jacket has like the same Batwing motif that her confessional jacket has. Like, girl, the details were so on point. I loved it. So Sigourney's Bride is so beautiful. Probably one of my favorites in terms of like glamour. Just the purple velvet with like the gray hair. It was just very, very glamorous, and like Sigourney was just like mugged out. And she looked good wet too. I didn't even really think it was like that much of a detriment other than like her kind of having a shitty attitude about it. But like, she looked hot wet too. Now, Sigourney's groom looks like he's gonna sell me a magic trinket or something. He looks like he's like the owner of an antique shop where like everything is cursed, and he's just trying to pawn off his wares onto me. I thought the groom was like super dapper. I love seeing all these performers get in king drag. It is so fucking sick. Oh my god, so next up is Eva Destruction, and I think she had my favorite look of the night. The spider hair, that was incredible. The cobweb bouquet. It's just like the details with Eva are always just like there. Yeah, her bride was just so cunt. And the groom, I'm like, she's definitely had my favorite groom of the night too. I really loved like the spider cocoon, you know, and the fact that the groom was also like snatched up with that corset. Yeah, honestly, I was really kind of surprised that she didn't snag the win. She looked so fucking fierce. The thing is, I agree and disagree with Zavaleta. I would smash the groom, but girl, I would also let that spider woman take me into the night. So that is that on that. So they come back out for judgment. Sigourney, Priscilla, Dahlia, Abora, and Blackberry were the safe divas this week. JK, Eva, and Cynthia were in the top. They really liked JK's story and how she like, and how she they really like. They really liked JK's story. They liked his story. They liked his story, you guys. They liked his story. And they liked how they connected. They liked how they were one and the same. They weren't just like coming from the same universe. They were like literally like the same thing. The Boulets gave a critique to Eva about not liking the cocoon, the spider cocoon. I totally disagreed with them on that. I thought the cocoon like was such an effective silhouette thing, and I liked that it was like a reveal, you know. I'm just like, I don't know. Sometimes they do be having weird opinions. Yeah, and they loved Cynthia. They also thought that she, you know, was wicked glamorous. GLAMOROUS. So that means that the bottoms are Disasterina, Zavaleta, and Jade. Which I think, all things considered, it kind of tracks, you know? And JK ends up snagging the win this week. Which I was kind of not expecting that, to be totally honest with you. Like, I think upon first impressions, it was really like Eva for me. It was really either Eva or Cynthia I thought was gonna snag the win. But I'm ultimately happy for JK. Like, I love seeing the evolution of JK, and I'm excited to see more from him. Okay, so we get to the motherfucking Cauldron, and y'all, it is heating up. You guys, this first interaction was so fucking crazy. Zaba's like, I just don't see it with these fucking stripper shoes, mama. And then Jay is like, well, sorry, I want to please my man after the wedding. And then Zava says, oh, I hope he doesn't cheat on you like he did to me. To which Jay says, yeah, he might. That's where I stole him. Oh my god, you guys. So now we officially kind of know why Zavaleta and JK do not like each other. I think it is pretty safe to say that there may or may not be a man involved. I also loved during this fight, so they love cutting to a bitch vaping in the middle of a fucking fight. Because during the middle of them having their squabble, it cuts to Cynthia vaping into her bouquet, which again, just incredible. Cynthia then calls out Dahlia for all of the shit that she's been stirring, and Dahlia really just like will not own up to like anything. Like she is projecting, she is deflecting, she is protecting, she is, doing anything except for accepting, that she is in the wrong. And then, pretty much everybody in the room jumps in here at some point. Sigourney jumps in and she's like, okay, so week 1 you did this, week 2 you did this, week 3 you did this. Like she's like giving her the play-by-play. And Jade is like, girl, take some accountability for yourself. And then Priscilla is like, girl, I want season 3 Dahlia back. At least she would like say shit to your face. And then they even cut to Jaharia in confessional, adding in her 2 cents. She's like, I think the bitch just needs to shut up. And then this was also so gaggy. Cynthia says that she's seen Dahlia yelling at a producer, to which Sigourney adds, every day. I'm like, this girl must have been a menace on set. I'm like, oh my god, you guys. And like, Blackberry corroborates that too, and she's literally like, yeah, sometimes I have to go behind your back and apologize to these people. Like, girl, that's so fucking... Damn, I'm like, it's like... For me, it's just surprising, because how has she gotten away with treating people like this for this long? But when Blackberry is corroborating, she also does point out that she's not just talking about Dahlia. And it cuts to Eva for the reaction shot. So I'm curious if there was a reason for that. Like if maybe Eva is one of the people that Blackberry's talking about. Again, they're pretty intentional with the edit, so I'm like, does that mean that she's also doing that kind of shit too? Or who is it? Who is it? Like, say their names, girl. And so then after all of that, Disasterina chimes in, and she's like, let's get back to what's really important. The 3 of us in the bottom. They really did just spend the whole fucking Cauldron just trying to let Dahlia know that she's a menace. And I kind of loved it. So they go back to the main stage. Zavaleta is safe. And so Jade and Disasterina go up to the Ghostly Gallows. You guys, last week I was so convinced that Jade was the main character. So, I thought there was no way they were going to send her home. Like, I was like, oh, this is Disasterina's time. They're going to send her home. It's going to be fine. She might break her knees on, when she hits the bottom. But it'll be fine. But, this time... they call Jade's name, and then she takes the plunge. And I was so fucking gagged, you guys. I was like, what the hell? Not my girl. But whatever. The silver lining is I am very excited to see more of Disasterina. And so that is what we think is the end of the episode. But wait, what is this? Frankie and Loris are back on the main stage? So the Boulets announced that this season, they're going to be doing what they call the Hellbound showdown. So they're going to be putting the eliminated ghouls up against each other in a head-to-head floor show. And at the end, whoever survives all of the floor shows will be entered back into the top 4. So basically, these 2 will face off, and then whoever the eliminated ghoul is will have to face off against whoever wins. And girl, this was such a gag. Like, I'm honestly kind of shocked that they are doing a twist like this. Like, it feels like very Drag Race of them to do something like this, but I mean, I'm not complaining at all. Genuinely, I'm just so stoked that we're going to be able to see more of their outfits and more of their outfits on the show. Plus, it means that Jade can still come back. So, these looks are sick. Loris is giving me, you know, very sexy magician who just, like, killed his assistant. You know, Mad Hatter vibes. But I really wasn't that mad at it. Her bride was also really cool. I loved the reveal with, like, you know, the knife and, like, the insane red prosthetic. She looked great. Frankie is giving me, like, sexy werewolf vibes, to be honest. She's giving me a lot of wolf vibes this season. I thought it was cool. I thought it was, like, punk rocky. But, you know, it just didn't have the, you know, the huh. I did really like her bride, though. I love seeing a super glamorous side from Frankie. I feel like we don't get to see that all that often. Yeah, I think she looks really hot, but I think if it's between the two of them, I don't know, y'all. I think my vote was also for Loris. I think they made the right choice. So Loris beats Frankie, and she now moves on to fight Jade, I guess, in the next episode. Yeah. Which... slay. And with that, we have come to the conclusion of another ceremonial episode of Toast Talks, the show where toast talks. Now that we are at the end of the video, I want to take a second and say the following things. If this video made you feel all warm and toasty, you know, consider giving it a like. Consider sticking around, subscribing so you don't miss any of this beautiful face. And, you know, leave me a comment. Let me know what you're thinking about the season so far. Well, this has been so fun, you guys, but I just got married, so I have a honeymoon to go on. I've been your host, Toast. Join me next time where we will be diving into another sexy, fabulous episode of the Boulet Brothers Dragula Titans. I hope you all have a fabulous rest of your day, and yeah, stay toasty, everyone. Mwah.